All right. Hey. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct both technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Now, why would we plan our trades in advance? To try to lower our risk. Now, let me remind you that trading is risky and not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome. Hey, while you're here, would you please click the like button? And if you're new, would you please subscribe? All of this tells YouTube that this is quality content, and I try to give you quality content every day. Some of it is educational, some of it is just us having fun, but I do want you to be a better pit pirate. Arr! Ooh, that butter in the coffee is really awesome stuff. Yeah, who puts butter in their coffee? That's how Dwayne do. So anyways, let me know how I can help. That's the whole purpose. We'll probably use some moving averages today. We might look at some oscillators today. We might look at price action today. We might look at pivot points today. We might look at market correlation today. We might look at multiple time frames today. We might want to discuss scalping, spot, swing, trade, carry, so on and so forth. I mean, dude, let me know what you need. I want to help you succeed. There's lots of resources besides these live training events that I do for free. By the way, I've been doing free live events, or even, sorry, I guess I've been doing free and paid for about 20 years. Yeah, so you can attend these events. You can read my book. You can join my community. There's all different ways that you can get the resources you need, the style of resource that you need. So again, if you like reading books, consider buying my book. If you don't worry about it. I highly recommend you joining my community. It's $88 a year, so I think you can afford it. You can upgrade the account to join live trading groups, but you don't have to. Now you're connected in the basic membership, which is 88 hours of training videos. You're also now connected to the other members of FX Bootcamp through our new community feature. So now you're a part of the whole. Whether you're a video only member or a day trading member or a swing trading member, you now can interact. So anyways, consider that. Also, I'd like you to consider using Trader's Way as your broker. There are many choices out there, but this one is mine. Yeah, I've worked with only a few brokers in my 20-year trading history. Really only, I've worked with quite a few, but the two I've used the most, I've used GFT for about 10 years before they got bought out. And then I've used Trader's Way now for, what has it been, 8 years? And in between, there was in between. So look, that should speak volumes. They earn my loyalty and respect. So if you need a broker, and I know you do, why don't you give them an opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect? Tradersway.com. You can go directly. You don't have to click the link. You don't have to mention my name. There's no code or something to put in there. Just check them out. You do you. Okay. Kevin's like, oh my God, $88 a year. Kevin's like, oh my God, I thought it was, $2,000. Yeah, maybe. Maida's like, coffee and butter, no way, sacrilege. Yeah, well, I thought you were telling me about putting garbanzo beans in my coffee. Hang on, let me, oh, look at that. See, I'm clicking all the wrong buttons today. Hang on. What I'm trying to do is move this out of the way, and then I got to move this over there. So I'm digging my new setup. It just occurred to me one day because I got this giant widescreen. It doesn't work as well as I would like because it's just one giant screen. And when you're doing like webinars and Zooms and all that kind of stuff, it just didn't work well. And then I realized, oh my God, I have an HDMI going into the monitor. What if I added a DisplayPort cable too? And sure enough, so I got an HDMI and a DisplayPort leaving my machine, going into my one monitor, and it breaks it up into two monitors, and it works perfect. And it's not the snap that Google Tools or whatever uses. It literally thinks there's two screens, and it works super well as far as organizing stuff. So I'm super happy with that. And if, and I think for a lot of traders, now your first screen, your first sort of rig doesn't have to be one machine and 3 screens. I think this 49-inch ultra wide is quite good enough, especially if you have two inputs into the screen. It works really well. All right. All right. Anyways, let's see what's on your mind. Obviously, we have retail sales going on today. Okay. Have you taken the opportunity to answer the poll? Participate in the poll? Give you a few more seconds. Kevin's like, hey, what do you get for $88 a year? 88 hours of training videos and access to a Discord-like server community, but built into FX Bootcamp. So the cool thing, like, for example, if I do an all-hands meeting, we used to like all gather into Zoom and all that kind of stuff. That technology is now built right into FX Bootcamp. So I could do an all-hands meeting, like, let's say I just want to talk to everybody about fundamentals or something. We can all meet together in a Zoom-like room, but it's built directly into FX Bootcamp, which is really cool. And of course, there's chats and discussions and challenges and leaderboards, and it's all built in now, which is kind of cool. All right, so thank you for participating in the poll. Kevin says it's a good upgrade. Thank you. It's a new integration of it's an integration of new technology. So it's an okay integration, which I expect to get better over the coming months. It's not perfect, but it's an interesting upgrade, and we're all trying to get used to it. For example, I don't think you guys were able to do the stop, look, and correct session. So I have to go back to the developers, and the reason for it is Ryan leads that meeting. Ryan is a moderator and an admin to the community, and for some reason he wasn't able to start the meeting. And there's no way for me to like sort of, I don't know, change the rules to say Ryan could start the meeting because he's an admin and a moderator. And, but there, so anyways, I got to go back to the developers. I'm like, dude, you're blocking an admin and a moderator from leading a meeting. Like, I can't be the only one in the world to do a meeting for our community, right? So we got to figure that out. So it's a bit of a bitch in the beginning, but yeah, we got something killer. It's good. It'll be good. We're working on it. We're loving it. All right. Cool. All right, so what's going on? So most of you are risk off today. We have retail sales, I believe, in 15 minutes. Now, retail sales is it's a weird, I don't know if it's a good indicator. Oh, he did get it going, made it? Oh, good. I got an email. I was out most of yesterday. I realized that just this morning that he was struggling to get it going, but he got it going. Oh, good. Good. So I haven't logged into the community yet. It was one of those days. So one of the things I like, as soon as he's done recording, within probably 5 minutes, the recording is put into the library. And the library only shows videos to people that should have access. So maybe he didn't click the record. So, you know, he'll figure it out. But it's smart enough to say, this person's in the day trading group, that person's in the swing trading group, and be able to just show the right videos to the right people. So it's kind of cool. Okay, now, so Aussie down, pound down, euro up, dollar up. Now, funny thing is, usually USD and euro are going in opposite directions. But, you know, I think some money is leaving the UK and going to Europe. What do you think? Yen weakening, which I think is quite interesting. Right? I think that's interesting. I'm getting ready for that to change directions. And so what we have here is risk off, risk off, risk on. Risk off, risk off, risk on. Risk off, risk on. And I think we talked about this yesterday. Be careful, that's gobbledygook. Okay? That's gobbledygook. And that's not good. Take a look at the stock markets around the world. Okay, we're just trading water in most cases right now. Let's get this one. This is the one we started to look at as a sell. I even took the opportunity to type sell zone. I don't know about you, but that seems pretty clear what our analysis was talking about. We were here at the time. So I marked it as a sell zone, up, 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 up. And then we talked about triggers. And then we had the volatility of yesterday's news, which I said, don't worry about it. You guys remember that? Like, I hope you remember those details. I said before the news, I said, don't worry about the news. You should already know what you want to do and let the volatility get you in your opportunity. So if you're a sell zoner, you can have an entry here because that's your sell zone. You know your next sell zone is way up here, so you could have an order and you wait. And what happened? Oh, we got some volatility. Look at what the volatility did. It shot straight up to resistance, then dropped straight down to support, then shot straight up to resistance, then made a lower low, lower high, lower low. So bulls had opportunities and then it didn't work out. Bears had opportunities and it did work out. All you had to do is stay with your analysis. That's all. And so what? Is this a good area to sell? Okay. We've identified this as an area where bulls might start coming in. So over the next, let's say, 24 to 48 hours, I wouldn't be shocked to see some sort of hold in here. Well, Favor, you must have missed my recent answer to a question like that. I'm not really interested in trading either. I would not really interested in trading USD yen. Now, obviously, USD is strong today and Japanese yen is weak today. So that might be a decent trade today. But I answered that in the form of funding currencies. And if I'm in a macro play, I don't want to trade USD yen. If I'm in a cross play, then maybe. And I said cross pay, not cos pay play. Anyways, there's your buy zone. So you should be prepared for some up. And I think on a longer term, meaning over the next few days, oops, trying to get my drawing tool here. There we go. Something like that. Okay, if you're a bear, and the opposite, of course, if you're a bull, you're not going to think that at all. You're gonna do that. Which one's right? I don't know. Gee whiz, you're supposed to know. Is this going to go up? And you should have an opinion on that. But don't ask me. You should have those answers. Okay, so check it out. Here's what we know. Okay, this is an important zone. If it breaks down, don't you think that that would be technically important? But look at this. This is held. So now what? Well, isn't that what your job is now, to have an opinion? Okay, you need to figure that out. Where are we going to be in 3 or 4 months? You get that right, you get paid. If you're not even asking yourself that question, you're not a game. You're not in the game. You're not a market participant. You're a market observer. Favor, I don't even think the way that you're thinking. Okay, which way do you take there? Oh, I would say, but in the next 3 months, I expect Japanese yen strength. But in the next 3 months, I also expect US dollar strength. So I'm not even interested. That's where I'm trying to get you to. So you're like, but there's a good trade there today. Well, I got more concerns going on than today. But good. If you see a trade and you've looked at the risk reward and you're like, I could pick up some money here, then go do it. But that's very tactical, and I'm trying to be strategic first and foremost, and then tactically get into trades that I can hold longer, for example, but whatever. So on a day like this, so maybe this will support what you're doing, Favor. When I said I looked at this and I said risk off, risk off, risk on, risk on, risk off, risk on, off, risk off, risk on, obviously it's a mixed bag. So yeah, you have some permission to engage into a cross pair, and this would be funding versus funding, which I don't like, but obviously dollar's strong and obviously yen is weak. So yeah, on a day like this, yeah, okay, you set it up and you can take a shot at it. But yeah, but you have to make that call first. Well, Favor, think about what I mean by strategic when I say you might see a USD yen long trade today, an opportunity. You might see that for today. And I just said to you, as a counter argument, I think dollar up and yen up over the next 90 days. So obviously one is strategic and one is tactical. Okay. Now, if you're still not entirely sure, I would highly consider you buying my book, which is 270 pages long, and it's called Strategic and Tactical Forex Trading. There probably is some information in there that might be helpful. Put it this way, I spent a year answering your question. All right, so let's go back to the stock market. And what we're looking for is congruency. And I don't see direction anywhere so far today. And today is probably another volatile day. Okie dokie. So non-directional. Take a look. I've added the scan metals. Okay, I'm selling gold, and I'm at break even here, and I'm selling palladium, and I'm now break even on palladium. Now I'll show you. So I'm up $1,500 since yesterday. The point I'm trying to make is I was in gold for, I think, 2 weeks, and I'm up, what, $350, $360. It took me 2 weeks. Now I'm up $1,000 in palladium, same size contract, but in 1 day. And I'm like, holy smokes. Palladium is expensive. So I'm playing around with this idea of trying to compare assets for hedging purposes and try to collect. Obviously, you can see I'm collecting a nice swap on gold. And for a day, I think I've only been in palladium a day, maybe two. You know, you're like, wait, it's only not even $3, and I'm up over 1,000 in profits. But if I was trying to collect just the swap, it's actually pretty good numbers. Like, for example, if you were trying to very consistently only make 25% a year, which is hella good on the long run, you know, if I could guarantee it in swap and then offset this, let's say $1,000 win with $1,000 loss somewhere, and all I was left with let's say $3 in let's say it was in 3 days, $3 in 3 days, then I can like, oh, that's $365 a year. And if I only had $1,000 in the account, right, that's 36.5% a year. So I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting. And so I keep chasing this idea, and we talk a lot about it in the swing trading group and the day trading group, where John Taylor started the very first Forex fund back in the 70s. And by the time he closed it in 2008 during the financial crisis, he just closed it and retired. But he was paying himself $250 million a year after year after year for a very, very long time. And that's him personally. That's not his fund. So obviously he had to pay all his employees and all the bonuses and all that kind of stuff. So obviously they were making many billions in profit as a money manager. Now, that's not that unusual. The unusual part of that, of course, is they were the first. But the most unusual part from our point of view as retail traders is they never made any pips. They got themselves market neutral but collected swap. And you're like, wait, they probably made $1 trillion in swap a year. Because if you remember, 80% of the money goes to the clients. So out of the 20%, you know, there was hundreds of, no, I guess it couldn't have been that. But anyways, they made, let's say, $100 billion a year on swap only. No pips. They hedged out the pips. So you made 1,000 pips here, but lost 1,000 pips there. But at the end, you collected the swap. So anyways, at the end of it, there was billions of dollars on their side that they could split up. And poor John Taylor only paid himself $250 million a year. And you're like, wow. Now, I wouldn't have been as conservative. I would have paid myself $365 million a year. $1 million a day. Do you remember what's his name from Wolf of Wall Street? He was mad because he ended his best year and he only had like 360 million. And he's like, man, I wanted 365 million, right? He wanted $1 million a day. So anywho, so I look at that and it's swapped now. But Palladium's hot, huh? Look at that. It's just, but look at the volatility. I was up, what, 1,100? Now I'm only up 900 on it, you know, and it's not, and you can see it's because of the spread. It's moving all over the place on the spread more than just the price. So you can snap your fingers, make $100, and then snap your fingers again and lose 300. So quite a, I don't know if it's going to be my go-to for hedging. It's too volatile. The tick value is too big. But anyways, having fun. So the numbers are out. Let's go pick on euro dollar, I suppose. Okay, and I'm going to move my stop to break even. Oh, thank you, Russ. Okay. So let me set this template up. It's going in the wrong direction. So I go to indicators, biased. Obviously, I'm a bear. Okay. Maybe you can figure out my trade plan. Okay, so I'm looking for a lower low. Today's target is down just below 106. It's another 100 pips down. Probably wishful thinking, huh? But anyways, we'll see. I got to get through this bottom, of course. Now, the interesting thing is, if we don't, that sets up an inverse head and shoulders to the upside. And as a bear, that would take me out. But let's make this the neckline, just for the bulls. And that puts us to 109, basically. So you have to ask yourself, are we on our way to 106 or 109? I guess the fair analogy would be maybe we can do this differently. Why don't we try to mimic? So that puts us probably like either 109 or 105, I guess. I'm trying to get it so it's a little closer to congruency. Now, that would be your opinion, right? What do you guys think? Let's ask. I'm going to do another poll. What will Euro USD hit first? 1.05. It's 9, right? Okay, this is anonymous, so I don't see who hits what. We'll just get a percentage from the aggregate. So please respond to the post, to the poll. Yeah, Richard, I was in on the pullback. I sold off the moving averages, so I didn't sell off the what would you call that? And it's not really a shoulder, but whatever that is, the neckline. I didn't sell off the neckline. I sold off the moving averages. So you can see now that, you know, we have this channel in place. Now, I have my channels drawn automatically because I'm stupid and lazy. So I just have my charts draw it for me. So you can see a longer term channel down and then the smaller term channel up, but we've broken the up channel and now have come down to the mean of the bigger channel. So imagine it as time frames. So now if we can break the mean, which means break the left shoulder, then we're probably on our way down there. But let's see what you guys are thinking. I need a few more people to vote. Would you please vote in the poll? Okay. Okay, I got a few more people. Thank you very much. All right. Most people think 105. Cool. So that tells me I should leave my stop at break even. Okay. Dollar strength. That would lead to metals down. Now, this is such an interesting. I have to set this up better. Well, I'm going to set up my charts like I used to have them back in the day. I'll add that and I will enter another one. Okay. How should I set this one up? I guess I could do it this way. I could put that there. And then I can change the template. Let's make that an index. And double check. I want Euro index. Just wanted, did I get that right? Yeah. Okay, and then I can get this, for example, I can put this on monthly pivot. Make this a 4-hour or even a daily. I guess that's enough. See, it's not a bad trade. You can figure out what I was doing, right? Oh, Don, because I'm not making them equal sizes. Okay, so anyways, now I can flip this over to an hour. Where is it? Oh, it is on an hour. Okay, well, I'll put it onto the hour, but I want to change the template. I guess I can leave the template, but I'll just change the background property, I guess. And then have this on a 15-minute chart. Cool. And so you can see on the left-hand side, the only thing going on here is a continuation. Oops. You see? As long as we're below that, we're likely to continue down. You guys like this setup? You see what I'm trying to do? I can just glance over here and say, okay, we're kicking it off the 4-hour moving averages and using the central pivot point as our resistance. Using the on the left here on the 1 hour, it's just price action. That's all I care about is price action here. That's why I have it labeled. Okay. Here's the European Open, and now we're at the US Open. And so you could have your 15-minute chart going in the center. You could have your 5-minute chart going in the center. Or you can do the opposite. You can do like, let's make this the hour and make this price action one. You could use the 5-minute or the 15, for example. Okay, that's our market open box. But I prefer the other way around. I like to have a higher time frame price action followed by a shorter term price action. Okay? Because what this tells me, when we get near one, wait, I got it. Wait, no wonder. Hang on. This is on the wrong one. I forgot to switch it. Hang on. Better. Same idea though. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to use this to make decisions about whether the market is bullish or bearish, huh? And you can see on a 15-minute chart over here, okay, it showed the breakdown of the bullishness, okay, then a breakdown of the bearishness, and gave you a continuation price action move to the downside. Anyway, so maybe that's what you like. Whatever, let's get going. Let's look at gold, oil, and Bitcoin next. Wow, we just hit the monthly target for Palladium. Interesting. All right, let's look at Biddy. Biddy has really responded. There was a big move yesterday, and I was out of the office most of yesterday, so I noticed it, but I wasn't sure. I mean, that wasn't CPI, was it? Or was there something specific to Bitcoin yesterday? Does anybody know? But I still have this as the sell zone, and it is still bearish. You could be a bear here, but be careful, because I never advocate selling high. It was CPI. Interesting. I wouldn't have reacted that way if I were me. But there is, if you saw over the next day or two a potential role reversal, bears are allowed to engage. It's still a good bearish number. Okay? This whole area, okay, is still a valid bearish number. I wouldn't sell the higher high, but like I said, if it double tops or makes a lower low, lower high, you have permission to engage. Whoop. So now you're only interested in this. So for tomorrow, the basis of your trade is this is tomorrow's sell price. So what do you need to see today to set up a trade in Asia? So really what you're thinking about is an Asian fade trade right now. So maybe over the next 8 hours, you get something like this. What do you think? Then maybe you can engage, and then notice that this is your risk. Okay. The next trade that you would do is let it make a lower low, then have it make a lower high, and then engage. Engage at this price, but after the break, not before the break. Yeah? So this is where you would look to set up an ambush. So maybe in 8 hours. You see the difference? Maybe in 8 hours, you'll get an opportunity. Now, bulls say Bitcoin's going to go to 23,500. Okay, bulls? So bulls, you would probably buy a dip around 22.5. Looking at gold, so Palladium hit the monthly target. Gold is now on the annual central pivot point. Is that dope enough? Indeed. You see gold on the annual pivot point? Palladium hitting the monthly target. Remember, I'm going to hold gold forever and ever. Amen. All right, I'm going to hold gold, and I'm expecting 1,500. So I'm up about $100 on gold, and I want it to fall, $300 more minimum. I don't know about minimum. That's just the number. 1,491. You're like, Wayne, that'll take you months. Oh, I'm patient when I'm making money. All right, my oh my WTI. Okay, I have this set as a range. If the monthly chart is correct, there is a small chance that we head down to 70. But I think more likely we've hit the bottom for the month. The way the price is working right now, we're not likely to go much higher than we've had. But let me just say what the chart shows me. Okay. This tells me this is the projected high. Okay. It says 83. 73 to 83 is our monthly range. That's what the chart says. It's not an opinion. And we know the psychological level is really 82, not 83. So whatever. So this is about right. It's about right. And we need to move into a new point of seasonality. We have enough supply. The concern is demand is coming down. Nat gas still stuck at 2.5. Or is it not even moving anymore? Is it offline now? I know we couldn't trade it, but it doesn't look like it's moving. Well, I'll leave it there. Hopefully we still have a price feed on it. Oh yeah, well, it looks like it's doing something. All right, fine. S&P 500. Let's take a quick zoom. Okay. Remember, we had two plans on this. Plan A, Plan B for selling. Now, if you're a bull, you can do the opposite. It's the same plan, only opposite, meaning this could be your plan A and this could be your plan B, meaning A happens before B, right? I'm still in bearish camp, okay, and thinking like this, we might, right? So what happens when you get yourself into a range, what I've taught myself and I've taught you, is that you should plan on the range happening forever. So bears should sell there and take profit in here. Like literally take your profit. The other choice is hold your breath and see if it'll break to the downside. But like this trade plan I have over on the other side, the way you do it is you let it break and then you try to sell the retracement. That's how you handle that. So you might as well book your profits and then wait for the price action. And you can see we never actually got bearish price action. Went all the way to the top of the range. Now we're back to the bottom of the other range. So I would expect it to go back to the top of the range. And you never anticipate a breakout, because then you're guessing or you're trying to outsmart the market. Wrong attitude. In a situation like this, I would kill the 2155, because if we're in a range, there's no market. There's only price action. You want short-term gold analysis? Okay, easy. Okay, that is support. Now you probably don't have it on your chart. Do I have it anywhere else? I guess I might have it under metals, obviously. So let's use that one. Let me go to scan metals. Oh, I still have it on the long-term chart. So let's do a confluence bearish. And very, very easy. Okay, favor? Very easy. On this time frame, it was an obvious take profit. It doesn't get any dumber than that. As simple as it as can be. Okay? Green means up, ladies and germs. Red means down. So this is not a buy zone, it's an exit zone. Okay? So you should already be out. Money in the bank. Models and bottles, baby. Okay. So I would never buy that, but it's definitely an exit. Okay. I mean, it's pretty clear, right? Okay. Hey, Russ, type the at sign first. That. And then type in F, and then you'll see it'll pull up. It should pull up the YouTube name. Okay. And you can just go boom. And you get it right every time. Okay. So like looking at the basics, and again, guys, if you don't know these basics, you really need to join FX Bootcamp. But this tells you to get out of your short positions. This tells you to get out of your long positions. This tells you to get out of your short positions. And you're like, oh my God, that's new news. You are denying yourself your own destiny because you don't want to spend 88 bucks. Now, I don't know why, but some people are like that. So maybe you're worried that you're somehow making me rich. And you're like, I'm not going to give that guru 88 bucks so he can drive a yellow Lamborghini. You got to get over that, bro. You need to take care of yourself. I can't imagine somebody walking through a bookstore going, I ain't buying any of these books. I'm going to make the authors rich. You should look at it and say every single one of those books took somebody a year or two to write. Blood, sweat, and tears for years, pain and suffering and sacrifice, time away from their loved ones and family and hobbies. And you should say, oh my God, this book's 50 bucks, but it took the guy a year to write. That is cheap knowledge. And you got to turn it around, man. I don't know. Some people are fighters like that. It's just how it is. Some people are like, I'm an idiot because I went to Harvard. I'm like, okay, you don't know anything about Harvard and you think I'm an idiot because I went to Harvard. Oh, I could get an education cheaper. I'm not interested in cheap. So anyways, to each his own. But man, the knowledge was great. So I think of it as investing, but whatever. You need to join FX Bootcamp is all I'm saying. Cool. So that's that. Those are targets. We've hit targets. That's a weekly target. Now, your monthly target may be down here. So you might say, well, Wayne, what's your target? How come you didn't take profit this week? Well, my strategy was to go for the monthly target. Or actually, the annual target. So there are multiple targets. Okay, so you understand? Like, let's try to throw this down. Oops. Let me try to put this down. Get ready, man. This is going to be good. One trade plan is sell at the central, exit at the S2. Okay? Another trade plan is sell at the M3, go to the M1. Okay? Another trade plan is sell here, and I have to go even lower, and I'm not going to put that in there. So which one of those trade plans is correct? No, Kevin, for now, I'm done with my formal education. I miss it, but I got other things to do. But I did 5 years at Harvard. Then I did Harvard Business School. Then I did MIT. Then I did Oxford. Yeah, I think I'm done for a while, man. Quite a hobby. So, which one of these is correct? They're all correct. Yeah, I didn't say I was done forever, Kevin, but I think I'd rather teach than take another class. I do plan not this year or next year. I got things I need to knock down first, but I'm quite certain I will teach. I see myself walking around Cambridge, at least in the summers and maybe in the winters, and teach maybe winter school and summer school. I'd love it. I think it'd be great if I was. I don't plan on ever being retired, but if I was sort of in the retirement age, let's say in 10 or 15 years, do I see myself, walking to campus as a professor wearing a tweed jacket with leather patches on my elbows and economics textbooks in my hand and a briefcase, a satchel full of graded papers, and I'm walking to class? Yeah. Crossing the Charles River, because I'll probably live in the apartments at Harvard Business School, and walking across the Charles River. Yeah. Well, Kevin, across the street from Harvard is one of my favorite cigar bars in the world. It's not even a cigar bar. It's a shop. Yeah. So anyways, guys, all three of these trades are correct. All three of these trades are valid. All three of these trades are expressed. The only difference is your strategy, your time frame. And you can compound them and try to add, right? Where you take all three, or you take the short one, take your profit, and next week try to enter again in the same trade, which then gets you the second bigger trade, the monthly trade. And then you compound that maybe into a series of trades, because eventually it'll probably pull up. And then you take that next month, which is just the same part of the first big, right? So they're three separate trades, but they could end up being 9 trades. So let's say you started with this a month ago, or at the beginning of the month, or at the beginning of the year, you waited for it, but nonetheless. Okay, you would have sold here, and your target would be here. We're not there yet. Okay, and then you sold here, and now your target's higher, and now we got there. So you may take both of these for profit, A or B, or just take B and leave A, but jam A at break even. And then next week, you do this. So that's your third trade. And then at some point, I would anticipate a 3-wave correction of some sort. And yes, that's not a 3-wave correction, but anyways. And then some continuity or continuation, if you will, of the previous move. So now you're thinking down for 3 weeks, up for a week, down for 3 weeks, on your way to eventually 1,500. So you could end up with just this month, 1, 2, 3 trades, take all your profit, stay out for a week or two, and then get back into your 4th, 5th, and 6th trade in March, working your way down throughout the year, doing simply the over and over and over different legs of the one strategy. What's the one strategy? Annual pivot points. The biggest threats would be your annual M2 and annual S1. Okay, one being an inside support, so that's a threat to a bear, but a opportunity for a bull, which is different to a threat to a bear, an opportunity to a bull would be the YM2. And so as a bear, you have to say, if there are bulls, this is where they're going to attack me. And that's where you'd set up a defensive strategy. And that currently is at 1,700. So now to take your next leg Okay. You could have an up this week and then a down next week and then an up and then a down and then maybe a bigger up and then a bigger down. And your next threat at the end of March would be around here, because if there are bulls, that's where they're going to want to buy. Okay. Okay. So anyways, multiple time frames. You can see now the spread is narrowed on Palladium again. That's the problem. The price can stay the same. All of a sudden, Palladium price will spread will open, and you'll lose $200 just as the spread widens. That's how sensitive that is. Oh my God. Okay. Take a look at exotics quickly. Oh, did I get it? Oh, I got it. Oh, snap. That's another good entry. Damn, boy. Oh, that happened. I thought, remember the other day when I traded Palladium? I thought I missed it. Remember me bitching? And then I tried to move and it went, like it wouldn't let me move it. It's because I literally got it to the penny, the entry. And look at that one. I got that one super close. Now, I'm going to jam the stop on this one just because it's a triple bottom. And like I was saying to you before, you cannot, or you should not, plan that it's going to break. But I do want to get short this. So I am short this. Not because you're like, but Wayne, you're long dollar. Well, again, going back to here, I'm long dollar, I'm long dollar, I'm long dollar, and then I'm short dollar. So in a weird way, I'm trying to offset my current positions with a hedge, but also a hedge that pays me 1,000% a year if I get it right. Well, hell's bells. Huh? Some people kill for less than 1,000% a year. So is it a great hedge? No, but it's a shot in the dark. It's a Hail Mary. Maybe I can catch it. Okay. So I don't know. Hell's bells. Okay, so anyways, that's what's going on there. Probably not going to stick it. It's probably going to go to the top of the range. So now I have to look at it on a daily. And, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, I mean, it's okay on the daily. The triple bottom bothers me though, huh? Euro ZAR pays really good if you're short. Does anybody want to short that? Well, what about on this time frame? Well, what about on this time frame? Well, what about this time frame? All right, well, you go out to the weekly. Here's the thing. Euro ZAR maybe at 19.5. And then maybe at 20. That's a 2, by the way. Maybe at 20 we get short. What do you stink? Smell like a plan? Why? I want to short this. I want to jam my stop. And then I'm going to hire monks in Japan to pray for me. And it's true. I was in Japan 15 and a half years ago. Wow, was that 15 and a half years ago? That's crazy. Anyways, I hired a group of monks, about 7 of them, at a Shinto temple. I picked out the prayer and everything. Out of 1,000 prayers, I picked out one prayer. And went through this whole process. It was really cool. Made my donation to the temple. And they prayed and prayed and prayed. And it worked. It freaking worked. It was unbelievable. I got exactly the outcome for the prayer that I picked. I picked one very specific prayer. And they prayed, Om, Om. And I got home, and 3 days later, it came true. Exactly as asked for. And I'm like, whoa, dude. So if you ever need something, I'm telling you, if you ever need something in your life, I know the Shinto temple you can go to. It's just money, guys. Give them some money, and they'll give you what you need, and nobody gets hurt. Okay, what do you stink? You gave up on me, didn't you? You gave up on me, didn't you? Uh-huh. So now it looks like maybe it'll come through for us. Here's another one. Now, it looks like it might make a lower low. It looks like it might hit target. But here's the thing I want to point out. I don't know if it will, but the most meaningful part of this is that we discussed this trade. When was it? November? We expected it in January, but really we knew it would happen in the first 3 months. Now, typically it's January. Now, and you could argue it did actually set up in January. It was just the third week in January, not the first week of January, which is over a period of a year is nothing. But nonetheless, back in November, can anybody confirm that we specifically picked pound dollar? We looked at many variables. We had like a 4.5 hour meeting. You remember that? And we went through very specific pairs. We had very long discussions, technically and fundamentally. We made decisions based on seasonality. And we decided pound dollar, not euro dollar, would be the first mover out of all the different pairs. So we had to analyze all the different pairs. For some reason, I think we had Johan. Johan had his charts up and we were going through it, right? Does anyone specifically remember? I remember going back and forth between 2 or 3 different dollar pairs, and we're like, pound dollar to be the first. Now, this is why some of our meetings are 4.5 hours long. Now, they're usually not, but that particular one was. No? Only 2 people can confirm that? Yeah, Denise, yeah. Lucas, yeah. And now help me remember, was it November? Was it December? Maybe it was December. Yeah. Jimmy Slay was there. Cool. So anywho, my point here is that your analysis is what makes you your money. And people keep asking me over and over and over again, Wayne, do you really need to know fundamentals? Can't I just do technicals? Can't I? If we're talking about stuff like this in November, December, and we're preparing ourselves mentally and we're doing the research, and remember, these are not opinions. That's the whole part that I'm talking about. Like, or I guess part of what I'm trying to share, especially to others that are not in our groups, is that we can have long and thought out discussions and conversations and even challenges to each other about looking at the data and preparing for the future. So we can say, this one, not that one, this probably, but that one less likely. And we organize our thoughts when we prepare in advance. And it's not random. Now, sometimes, like in this case, oh my God, we had to wait 3 weeks longer than we had anticipated. 3 weeks. Now think about it if you're a short-term trader or you're trying to learn to be a longer-term trader and you throw everything out because you're like, oh my God, he's totally wrong on this. It's been up for 3 weeks and now you're right. Versus thinking about how would you trade if you were a multi-billion-dollar trader? Would waiting for a setup for 2 or 3 weeks be too much? No, probably not. And then how would you treat like a double top on pound dollar? And you're like, oh, well, we're ready for pound dollar to drop. All of a sudden, you're looking at things differently. And that's where I'm just trying to get you. And it takes a long time, by the way. It takes years, even if you're listening to me. And I don't think most people listen to me, but for those that even listen to me, it takes years for some reason before it all starts clicking, right? It's too bad you can't just take an injection and go, boom, I'm a Forex trader, right? Remember Neo? I know Jiu-Jitsu and Forex, right? If I could just jab it into your brain. But I'm trying to jab it into my own brain too, right? This is a long road, but the point is, if you ever feel like this is random and, oh my God, it's up today and down tomorrow and this is all over the place, and my broker is hunting my stops, and this is what market makers, and you notice that if you feel that way, if you think that way, because I always poo-poo on it, right? When someone says, oh, it's market makers, pushing the market to clear out the positions. You notice I poo-poo on that, right? I'm like, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. Because if it's being manipulated, then you don't have a chance. If it's random, you don't have a chance. So if it's either manipulated or it's random, there's no way you can be consistent. And then why even be a trader? Why even be a retail trader if there are market makers that are going to secretly hunt down your mini lot trades and wipe you out? I don't think that exists. So what I rather teach you is like, there's rationale for this to happen. And if you understand it, you don't have to trade every 15-minute chart, every 15-minute entry. Instead, you can have the bigger picture and then set things up and then compound your winners. Now, if it's random or the market gets cleared over and over and over again, then you won't have a chance. And I don't believe that to be true. So I'd rather teach you the bigger picture so that you can compound. I want to teach you to let your winners run. Yeah, Lucas says you have to go through the growing pains. Yeah, and it's something in the human condition, isn't it? It's just humans are very interesting. So like let me give you one last example. I'm going to base, I want to bring back what I discussed yesterday. Yesterday, I talked about selling pivots and when to sell them. And I said, if you're a bear, so going back to November and December, we were already bears on this. Okay, great. So one of the pieces of training I did yesterday in our free live stream is I said, if you're a bear, there are two prices in which you want to sell. This price and this price. The second one, you only sell when you're rallying up to that point. So you have a double top, and I've trained you many, many, many times that a double top is an opportunity for a bear. In fact, one, right? And what's the other opportunity? Lower highs. Those are the only two scenarios as a bear you're allowed to sell. Now, there's your double top, which is a pattern. Here's your lower high, but again, off the pivot point. So there's like two strategies going here that confirm the same thing. So if you are trying to be a longer term trader, you only had two trades so far this entire month, 1 and 2. And your target, based on just what the chart says, is $1.17 3/4. So 1, 2 out. So if you have a day job, if you have a job, this is a type of trading strategy that will be awesome for you. You're only going to get 2 or 3 trading opportunities a month, and that's it. So when you join FX Bootcamp, you will learn to do that. For example, this bottom predicts this top. Did you see that? I'm not joking. That's in the course. And this top predicts that bottom. So if you were, like, again, if you were a bear out here, you're going to look at this over here as the setup that you are expecting. It's not random. Okay? If you're here, sometimes it seems random, but that looks so beautiful to me. You're probably crushing it, right? Yeah, boy. Okay? Look at that. More good news. Nothing's really changed over here. Cool. So more dollar strength, very nice. So Russ says, would love to short Eurozar and stuff. You need to be in risk on mode, or I should say the market should be on risk on mode for that. And generally that's not what we have. So don't just, if I go back to these exotics, don't just sell Eurozar. It won't work until you have risk on. Okay? And I don't see that yet. But what I'm pointing out is at some point, maybe we do get risk on. Sometime this year, the global economy might improve. And so there are three numbers in which I would pay attention to Euro-ZAR that just might happen. Will they happen? Oh, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if they'll happen. Uh-oh. Froze on me. Hang on now. Did it freeze on me? Why did it freeze? Wow. I usually don't have a problem. Oh, yeah, spinning. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if it's that update I got yesterday. And my MT4 never freezes on me. Huh. Well, anyways, I would just say if the global market conditions change, and it could just be simply like the Fed decides to stop raising interest rates. Now we're paused, and that leads to, okay, the worst is over. There we go. Type attitude. Then that might be enough to change things from risk off to risk on. And if that happens at 20 and you're able to jam a stop, maybe Europeans will start investing into South Africa and you make money. I believe peso is doing extraordinarily well because of the supply chain shocks, and Americans are nearshoring. So they're putting stuff that they used to, manufacture or assemble in China. They're building those facilities now in Mexico. And we talked about that, oh my God, 18 to 24 months ago. And we're seeing it in the price action now where Rand is weakening. And it really should be under these market conditions. In my humble opinion, this should be going up. And in fact, USD Mexican peso should be going up too, but it's going down. Even when dollar's strong, peso's even stronger. So it shows you that it's more than risk on, risk off. There's actual money flowing to Mexico. It's real. That's the real deal. Okay? That's the real deal, son. That's real money. That's real capital flow. When on days when the dollar is strong, or even months when the dollar is strong, oh my God, peso is even stronger. We are stuck on support pivot right now. Okay? So we might fart around here for a long time. I'm going to just keep chipping away. Okay? I'm going to keep chipping away. I don't think I want it there, but I'll keep chipping away. So I'll just keep trying to get into the trade. And if so, what this chart tells me, because this is an OOP, so we're expected to hit 18 this month or next month, and then there's going to be a big move the other way. Okay? You see? What day is it? Wednesday? Okay, I will see you in the day trading group today at 4 p.m. in the live room. I will spend more time with talking to the developers. Oh, I guess, wait, I have to check. I guess Ryan did do his meeting, so that worked out good. All right, awesome. So today at 4 p.m. is the day trading group. I'll meet you for the New York close to set up the Asian trading session and tomorrow's day trades. We've been setting up dollar long trades, and today it looks like dollar's long, so hope everybody's tickled pink and happy, fat and happy. So, join FX Bootcamp, everybody. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Cheers.